was watching television. I tuned by the Met game. And they mentioned your name.
I said, they mentioned my name on the Met game. I don't even... Oh, I go, oh, all right. I go, Gary threw out the first pitch. He's been really nervous. My father doesn't even hear anything. He just goes, barrels on. He goes...
Does that? Look, so I never saw a pitch so horrible.
I go, what? He goes...
I never saw when they would show a pitch on TV like this. I tuned by, and they're talking about Howard Stern's producer threw out the first pitch. He says, you never saw a ball thrown like this.
I go, oh, my God, Dad. And my father can't even have a conversation, but I go, oh, my God, do you know Gary was throwing out the first pitch? His worst nightmare is that the pitch would be wild. He goes,
wild? I never saw a pitch like this in my life.
Now my father's goofing on Gary. And I'm like,
oh, my goodness.
I said, you don't know how unbelievable this is, because this is Gary's worst nightmare.
He literally talked himself into his worst nightmare.
Yeah, I said, this is his worst nightmare. I mean, I go, you're telling me it was awful? Now I'm getting, like, full of glee, because if it was a good pitch, we'd be done.
Yeah, it'd be over.
Now I'm smelling the first 2 hours of the show are going to be fantastic, because Gary's pitch was, he goes...
It was unbelievable.
The man is right.
So
the man is right.
I immediately watched it. And, you know, I said, I have it right here. You hold it down.
He's like, send it to me.
Yeah, right. Like,
he wants to remember
he couldn't believe it. Well, I watched the pitch. And Beth looks at me and goes, he threw it like a girl. So I go, what do you mean? She goes, I guarantee you I can throw better than that. She goes, my father, we used to go out and throw balls all the time. She has the first time. Her father was such a stickler for sports. I mean, she has two brothers who are both full scholarships for sports.
Like Penn State type stuff.
Yeah. Penn State full scholarship for football and basketball at the University of Vermont. And, full ride, didn't have to pay for college. And she said, my dad used to, I would cry, he'd make me put on a glove. This is Beth. And she says he would throw balls at me until I would catch it. She said, the first ball hit me in the head. And he made me stand there and keep... He was like one of those sports dads.
Yeah.
Like the great Santini.
And she said I was always grateful in a weird way, because she goes, I could always play any sport and throw a ball. And I said, yeah. I said, I don't know what happened with this guy. She goes, I've never seen a pitch like this.
And he supposedly can throw a pitch, right?
So I
don't know who told him that.
So we're drinking a bottle of wine at the house.
You're on that dead-end street still, huh?
Yeah, I'm still drinking. I'm sorry, Artie. And, I'm moving two guys in with me to watch me full time.
Why don't you make your own grave over there?
Yeah. So, anyway, and by the way, when I saw the pitch, I saw Artie was standing right there next to the catcher.
Oh, Artie did show up.
I showed up.
He was down on the field.
Oh, I showed up.
And I said, where were your two bodyguards?
One was Joe was right next to me.
Oh, he was.
Look at it. You see me and Joe laugh like we're watching.
I got upset. I thought you were on your own.
No,
he escaped.
No, Joe was with me.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, because that's a place to score, Shea Stadium, or whatever stadium that's called now.
Oh, no, Citi Field.
Citi Field.
Believe me, the neighborhood outside Citi Field is the same as it was outside Shea Stadium.
Right.
It looks like it's a bunch of chop shops for cars, though.
Yeah, so I'm watching this thing, and I go, oh, my God, Artie's there at the game. And, I mean, it must have been unbelievable. So, now the first thing I do is Beth is on Facebook. I said, can you go to Gary's page? So I said, let's leave some messages.
Oh, God.
I go, we go, hey, we really loved your pitch. And I don't know, I wrote some other things. I go, oh, then I see that Gary, Thursday night, was at the Bruce Springsteen show in Toronto.
Oh.
He flew there with Ross. I mean, Ross ought to go have his head examined. And so should Gary. So I wrote on his thing, oh, in Toronto Thursday, maybe if you stayed home and got some sleep, you wouldn't have pitched so fucking bad.
Yeah, you shouldn't be traveling when you have to pitch.
Gary sang the first song at the Springsteen concert, and it was shit as well.
Yeah, I bet. So all of a sudden, I'm goofing. And I said, so Beth and I go, I got to call Gary. I called Gary. I go, oh, what happened? He goes, I'm on my second Scotch bowl.
Yeah, he started getting loaded.
He was getting loaded. And
I had to leave.
It was unbelievable.
Really? He was that devastated that now he had to get drunk?
He had to get drunk.
Some fortitude.
I go, that was your worst nightmare? He goes, I don't know why I did it. So I didn't want to start busting his balls too bad.
Right then, yeah.
I watched this pitch. I wrote to Sal and Richard. I said, find that kid who does the animation for us. Kevin Lofton.
Yeah, Kevin Lofton.
I say, find him. I said, so follow the trajectory of the ball. After it leaves the stadium, where does it ends up in outer space? But you see it, you go with it all when it's orbiting the Earth, the pitch.
It's space junk now.
I mean, it was unbelievably bad.
It was
Where
a double,
did it go?
Well, it was a double whammy because, first of all, I wish I would have played catch with Gary because I love Gary to death. But someone's misinforming him. He can't throw. He throws like a chick.
Oh,
and I would have played catch with him for 2 seconds and begged him not to do it. I would have said, I'll teach you how to call in sick or something. I mean, you can't do it because he throws like a, I mean, he didn't play high school ball.
But that's why he was nervous, because you're right. He claims he can throw a ball.
He can't. He can't throw a ball. No, he can't. And I would have known it. John Hine is not his friend because John let him believe he can. Anyone who plays catch with the guy, I said 2 pitches, I could have figured out he can't throw a ball.
What is he doing wrong?
I don't know. What does my sister do wrong when she throws it? I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. When you play catch with a fucking broad, sometimes chicks go, let's play catch, and you're always running after the ball. They never reach you. And and the poor catcher for the fucking Mets. Every fucking home game, there's another jerk-off throwing out the first pitch, and this guy
get killed.
Yeah, but not killed. I mean, it was a double fuck-up because Gary threw the ball incredibly soft and gay.
Right.
And nowhere near the umpire had it. The umpire had a fucking catch.
The umpire caught the ball.
The umpire had to catch the ball because the catcher's like, I'm not getting up. I got to fucking catch a game now.
Did the umpire actually catch the ball, or did he like...
He said, go get it.
He had to go get it. My worst nightmare, boy.
Me and Robert Smigel were there. I said to Smigel, what a great day. We just saw Lance Bass throw out the first pitch.
Was the umpire cracking?
The whole stadium was laughing.
Oh, my God. First of all, they were baba-booing.
Right.
Every other word was fag. And that was just from me and Joe.
Oh, my God.
I mean, look.
Because I said to Gary, when I called him, I go, what did Artie say? He goes, Artie just, hit me on the back, and he basically said, better luck next time or something. So you were, like, saving it up for the... Everyone, you know what? Here this morning, nobody would talk to Gary. Like, Will wouldn't talk to no one because, Gary says to me, oh, my God. He goes, do you notice no one's talking to me? I go, Gary, they're all waiting and saving it for the air. Listen to this. The Daily News called Gary's pitch the most embarrassing ceremonial first pitch in baseball history.
Howard, some broad who I've never heard of sang the national anthem.
Yeah.
She looked like a Britney Spears or something.
Right.
She should have thrown out the first pitch.
She would have done a better job.
And I was trying to justify what Gary did. It was Autism Awareness Day.
You should have said he had autism.
I said Gary was nice. He threw out the pitch like he's autistic.
Yeah, he wanted the kids to feel good about themselves. Will, it was obvious you weren't even talking to him.
Well, it was great. I brought my whole family, went out to the game on Saturday.
Philly fans.
I just wanted to see him throw that pitch.
And by the way, we should mention, because it was Autism Day, Gary had brought in about 100 listeners to watch him throw the first pitch.
First of all, Gary did an incredibly nice thing. Gary probably raised a shitload of money for charity. It was a charity thing. And he made the ultimate sacrifice. He looked like a fruit.
What did Gary's son say?
I don't know. I just saw Gary put his head down. He was like so embarrassed.
First of all, Gary's kids are the nicest fucking kids. Mary's great.
Did they feel bad?
Lucas is such a sweet kid. He came up to me before the pitch and said to me, Artie, I love my dad, but if he screws up, you got to make fun of him. That's what he said to me.
Right.
After the pitch, he saw how sad his father was. And the sweetest thing happened in the suite we had. He came back up to me and, like, dead serious, he goes, please don't be too hard on my father. So I promised him, but Lucas, you're learning something about life right now. I have a job. I got to do it. I'm making money.
You made a deal with a drug addict, Lucas. They don't tell you the truth.
This is the way it usually goes with them.
But he should have let Jackson throw it out. Because Jackson even said to me, you could tell he's a good athlete, and And he said, I want to throw it out. I would love to. Like, he was ready to go, you know?
And by the way, Sal is in the hallway for the TV cameras mimicking Gary's first pitch before we get to Will.
What's he throwing like Sal?
Let's see. Oh, there it is. He's got the Gary mask on. You're throwing it too good. Oh, you're winding up. Okay. Take a shot put.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
Wow.
When Sal does that, that's funny. That should be Sal's stand-up act.
I mean, when I heard Will was there, I'm thinking, like, it's all Philly fans, like, in this family.
I was with every fan.
What happened when you were in the stands, you were watching?
Yeah, we were way back in the outfield, so I had a bad angle for it. So he throws the ball, and you're like, oh, okay, it's going to reach the plate. He actually threw it far enough.
Right.
But then it hits the umpire, who's about 5 feet right of the batter's box. You're like, is it even physically possible to throw the ball that badly? But then you could just see he was, like, crushed. John Main's pushing him off the mound. He's like, get out of here, asshole. This is funny.
Wow.
He was crushed. Gary's face.
And it's humiliating because the fans start to boo you, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, Met fans are, first of all, self-loathing people.
Right.
Because I thought I was going to catch a lot of shit. But they were, I mean, every Met fan I saw said, oh, hey, we love you. You're right, we are fags. But I have my list. Maybe we should make lists. I'm definitely going to do my gayest Met list.
Right.
And Gary's in the honorary gayest Met.
Ralph, you're on the air. Did you see the pitch?
I thought Star Trek was good.
Better.
He threw like a Star Trek fan.
How do you... I don't understand, like, how did it, like, it wasn't even close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with all that, first of all, and then Gary...
had a pitching coach.
That's nothing. You don't even know the half of it. When I spoke to Gary and he was drinking scotch on Saturday night after this fiasco, I said, what's going on? He goes, he had hired a psychologist.
Oh, get out of here.
To work through it with him.
Fire that guy.
He hired a guy to do 100 pitches with him, a pitching coach, and Gary goes, I don't know. I threw 95 of those pitches perfectly, and then 5 of them went bad, and now I'm focused on the 5 that went bad. So then he hired the psychologist to work
get
through
that
with
out
him.
of his head.
He should have had the psychologist throw out the pitch.
But what you're telling me, Artie, is Gary doesn't know how to throw. He should have had the psychologist.
He doesn't. I'm telling you, I could tell. I played baseball for a long time.
Right.
And I played like hardball. I played in a fast pitch league for a while. And I know what it's like. You play catch with a guy, you could tell, okay, this guy knows how to throw a ball.
Right.
And I'm telling you, if I played catch with Gary, I could have told him, don't do it, man. Just like I would have told Chris Rock not to do it when he fucking did it. Like, I don't think Chris Rock is as funny anymore.
Was Gary's worse than Chris Rock?
Yes. I think it was the worst pitch in the history. I mean, the Met players and fans, everybody around in the suite. I mean, the autistic kids were going, wow. Sebastian Bach was there.
Yeah.
First of all, Sebastian Bach had the line of the day.
What did he say?
Sebastian Bach sang 3 songs before the game, and no one was listening to him.
Right.
Well, I thought he sounded pretty good.
Right.
And afterwards, we see him, and he's like one of those, dude, what's up?
Yeah, he's a heavy metal guy.
Yeah, right, heavy metal guy.
Yeah.
The lead singer of Skid Row in the 80s. But he goes, all I know is Gary threw worse than I sang.
That's the ultimate insult.
Thank God for Gary.
There was like, we all
he threw worse than I sang.
We all took a picture.
Do you know the Daily News? I mean, for the Daily News newspaper to say.
Comment even on a picture.
I mean, to say it's the single most embarrassing moment in the history of first pitches.
Yeah.
In the history of the Mets? You know the embarrassing moments the Mets have?
Oh, here it is.
Worse.
Gary Dell'Abate, we all know him as Baba Booey from the Howard Stern Show, delivered what has to be the most embarrassing ceremonial first pitch in baseball history Saturday. He had been talking for weeks on the Stern Show about doing this, and Saturday he finally got his shot. The video is below, pretty bad. He may actually be better than Perez and Green combined. If you look closely, you can see Stern sidekick Artie Lang, a Met hater, to the far left during the pitch. In all seriousness, Dell'Abate, a Mets fan, was at Citi Field, the Celebrity Gifts for Autism Awareness Day, which is a great cause, one that's dear to my heart. Good job, Gary, on that. But single most...
pitch.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to remember why he was there.
That was from the Daily News, Howard?
Daily News.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, let me check that.
You see,
Yeah, Daily News.
Seriously, I think I'm absolutely sure I could do better.
Well, actually, Ralph, after that pitch, you should worry about your job. I think Gary should be picking out Howard's clothes.
I mean, what was that? What? I mean,
Howard,
first of all, so in other words, what I'm learning is Gary doesn't know he can't throw.
Yeah, and a lot of people. But you know how everyone thinks they're funny?
Right.
You know what I mean? My buddy's the funniest guy, and then you meet him and you want to punch him in the face.
Right.
There's a ton of guys who think they can throw, and they think they're athletes.
Artie, listen. He didn't even come close to the plate.
I understand, Ralph, but I'm sure Gary could at one time in his life throw. I'm sure he remembers being in the 8th grade, throwing the ball and being good. But Gary's had such a different life than playing ball for so long.
About throw like he's a pitcher, he's a sportsman or something.
You can forget to throw?
Yeah,
I think you can, sure.
You get to hit the guy you're throwing at.
Well, I mean, you know.
Maybe Gary thought the umpire was the catcher. Gary, the single worst. Do you think yours was worse than Chris Rock even?
Gary,
no, okay, so mine wasn't worse than Chris Rock because mine stayed in the frame. You know, Chris Rock went out. And by the way, I would love to have Chris Rock's publicist because you can't find a video of that anywhere.
Is that true?
You can, Howard. I searched high and low on the internet. They must have had it scrubbed.
It's not on YouTube?
Nope, not on YouTube. Nowhere.
How is that possible?
I don't know. Seriously, if somebody's got it.
You were freaking out, too. You said to me, I don't understand how they're showing this on TV over and they never show the first pitch, and yet they were showing it everywhere. In fact, here, wait, let me play these for you.
It's the most popular thing on YouTube.
Wait, let me play this. Yeah, Howard TV has video of the throw, by the way. Here's the...
let me see it again. I don't think
yeah, here it is.
This is like watching...
Why did you do this?
Well, first of all, there's a couple of things going on. I'll let you...
What happened?
I swear to God I can throw. And I swear to God that the way that looks like I can't throw.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what was going on. No, I'm going to tell you.
Explain it.
I'll explain it to you as best I can.
Like, do you know right away that was the... Right after you released it? When do you realize this is going horribly wrong?
So here's a few things that are going on. I can throw better than that. I promise you.
Right.
So I'm standing on the side.
Yeah, but that doesn't count.
No, I got you. I knew it was one pitch. So I'm standing on the side, and I've got like 8 minutes before I have to go out there. I'm just getting more and more nervous, nervous. I start to do that thing that I do. You know how
your lips?
No, dry heave.
Oh, dry heave.
Like when I get really nervous, I start to cough like I'm going to throw up.
Oh.
Gee, I didn't even know about that disgusting.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah. I thought you meant licking your lips and teeth.
No. I start to get the dry heaves.
Wow.
So I'm doing it on the side, and the guy that's with me from the Mets is looking at me like I'm out of my fucking mind.
Right.
When I get so I've been given so much advice from so many different people. Some people say, just go out and throw it, don't pitch.
What kind of advice are they giving you?
People say, just go out and throw it and don't pitch. And some people say, go and pitch. And what that was a bad combination of me saying, I'll pitch, and at the last minute go, no, I'll just throw it. You know what I mean?
It was a bad combination of gay guy and chick.
Right. Listen, I can't.
Did Artie bust your balls there, or you saved it for now?
I saved it for now.
Yeah, right. That was smart.
I'm an 8-year veteran on the show now. I know what to do.
Why waste your time there? No one can hear it.
I asked Smigel to call me with any joke he had.
What did Smigel say once it went down?
He was just laughing. I mean, he said, Smigel said, he goes, listen, I love Gary, but what does he wear? He's Baba Booey. It's fucked either way. How
bad, so once you release the ball, you know, and you see the umpire trying to, chase it down, what are you thinking at this point?
I'm thinking this is what I was afraid of. This was it.
Right.
This was all of it put together, the worst of the worst. I mean, you start thinking of all the things you don't want to do. You don't want to throw it over the head. You don't want to bounce it.
I mean, for my father to call me.
No, your father was the least who called me.
Oh, my God. Who called you?
Well, it's always funny who wants to be the first to give you bad news.
Yeah, I was pretty much the first one on your Facebook.
I got a lot of texts.
The first person to give you bad news is your arm.
Right. A lot of people were texting me. Yeah. I got about a dozen texts from Booker. It started with, hey, heard it didn't go well. Hey, that's okay. I did it once. And then around the 8th or 9th one, it's about 6:30 at night. I'm drinking, and it just goes, dude, you're on the news. That's what the text says.
Yeah. Wait, who sent you that?
Booker.
Oh, Booker.
Hey, at least you made the news, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if you'd thrown out a perfect pitch, it would have been over.
You're way more famous than you were the other day.
This is a bit of a montage of... This is just different newscasts picking up the story.
Wow.
Which is unbelievable. Yeah, because Gary was like... this thing won't be seen. It's not going to come around.
Yeah,
blah,
I was
blah,
going to say, you didn't think it was going to be this big.
No, I didn't think it was going to be this bad. Once I saw how bad it was, I thought, I thought it. Hey, listen, here's what happened.
This is Star Wars big.
Here's what happened. So here's what happened. So it's a bad pitch. We all know it's a bad pitch. I'm bummed out. But still, in my mind, it's within the Howard Stern universe.
Right.
Meaning, you come to work on Monday, you guys make fun of me, we show it, we put it on the TV show and everybody sees it.
Jeff Caro might yell at you.
Yeah, right. So and the listeners are there, but listen, the place only holds 40,000. You know what I mean? So what happens is during the game, this guy Kevin Burkhardt is a really nice guy. He interviews me during the game, and then they show it. When they show it, my heart just stopped, because then I realized now it's been taken out of the Howard Stern universe.
It's on everywhere.
And sent to the world.
Right.
And then, like yesterday before the game, you know, Jackson puts the game on every day. And before the game, you know that mayor of Cincinnati that threw like the worst pitch ever? I turn on the game, it's 12:59, and I see they're doing a side-by-side.
Oh, my God.
I'm not kidding. But here's the worst. Here's the worst part of the whole thing. This is one of the worst catastrophes I've ever seen. And they say it's close.
Wouldn't it be cool if Major League Baseball started to use this clip like in an opening montage for every single game?
Like it became like a wide world of sports.
This week in fags.
So they decided that as bad as mine was, it's pretty bad, but not quite as bad as the mayor of Cincinnati, but it's very close.
Right.
So I realize now that for all eternity, I'm the second worst pitch. You know, the worst pitch in New York, the second worst pitch, and I'm linked to the mayor of Cincinnati.
This might make Jackson a Yankee fan.
Well, all of this is going on the whole weekend, like, leading up to this. Mary's, like, getting mad at me, even, like, the couple of days before the game.
Because you're stressed out.
I'm stressed out. I'm ruining everything, and, you know.
Because Beth said to me, how will Mary be about this? I said, Mary's a real ball buster. She's not going to sit and give him any compassion.
No, so
she shouldn't. I mean, this is ridiculous.
So it's the whole thing.
He embarrassed the whole family.
Have Mary and your sons been relocated yet? Are they in the witness protection program?
All right, here's your new name.
So we get home on Saturday, and I'm really bummed out. Mary's like, God, like, I've been putting up with this for 2 weeks. Is this going to go on now? Right. I go, Mary, it's all over the fucking news.
Yeah.
She goes, who gives a shit? Like, really, what do you care? You did a great thing for autism. You're a man. And I'm like, you're a woman. You do not understand what this means.
And she goes, you're a woman, too.
So, yesterday...
How do you understand what it means?
So yesterday at 1 o'clock after this thing is on TV...
Right.
Wow. I just, hang my head, and I go in my office, and I'm in there, and she just comes in, and she goes... So you're gonna ruin Mother's Day? She goes, this is what it's gonna be. She goes, this is my day, and now it's all about you.
Oh my God, you're really. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is way up there, right?
Oh my God, no, it's a
disaster.
Howard, the Met fans were so brutal because we were on the field,
right?
And Gary was ahead of me, and me and Joe were walking by. All these fans stopped to tell me what to say on the show, like they would tell me their names. These two brothers came up to me and said, Artie, tell Gary that Jake and Chubba from Queens says he's a fag.
Hey, can I just say you could not have done a better job.
Thank you, Ralph.
Yeah, this is the greatest for the show. I mean,
Gary fucked up at the ball game. Looked like a dope in front of the crowd. Threw like a sissy, and that's a fact. His throw should be considered a homosexual act. So let's boo. Boo, boo, ba, ba, boo. He should be spanked by Hal McRae. 'Cause it's 1, 2, 3 times you're gay when you throw 20 feet from home plate.
I can't do it. I'm too stupid. I just can't figure it out, I swear. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm an idiot. I'm a friggin' idiot. Go fuck yourself. Shut up, asshole. Fuck you, you white asshole.
Fuck you, you white asshole.
You white asshole.
What was that?
Richard, by the way, Richard, I guess, definitely grew up in Kansas because the one player he put in there is
Hal McRae.
The 1977 Royals.
Hey, this is sweet. Gary's kids are on the phone. They want to make him feel better. Hey, Gary's kids. Oh, that's mean. Kids, what do you think of your dad? All right, they can't stop.
That sounds like Jake and Chubba from Queens.
Howard, here's how you know it's really, really bad. I get a text. I'm going to pick up my mother to bring her home for Mother's Day. I get a text on my phone, and it says, sorry about the first pitch. How are you doing? And you know how people text you and you don't know who it is?
Yeah.
So I go, who sent this? Because they should put their name on it. So what I usually do is I hit the button to dial it, and then I usually get the person's voicemail. It was the owner of the Mets.
Oh,
it was Jeff Wilpon.
Oh,
You're kidding me? Well, I sort of know him.
Oh,
but he's just like, he wanted to see how I was doing.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
By the way, they announced the game in Spanish. You could even hear during Gary's first pitch they reference it.
Pero primero, aquí está Gary Delabate del Howard Stern Show para tirar la primera pelota del juego.
Please welcome Gary Delabate.
También lo conoces como Baba Booey. Y ahí va. A la puchica, este pendejo Monkey Boy no puede tirar para nada. Quizás con ese gran peso de su tooth and gums enorme, su balance ya está todo chiflado. Los otros jugadores ya casi están cayendo por el ass breath que tiene este hombre. Ahí va ese Neanderthal jungle creature, oímos. Todo el mundo. Y ya vamos a regresar después de este comercial.
Oh, my God.
Wow. I got to tell you, the other thing is, it's a real, sociological study in how people treat you, because some people who you think are your friends, I got a couple of emails from people who were really, put the best spin on it. Like John Hine, okay, is a great friend, but Mark Tinker and Jeff Probst both sent me notes that were like, dude, it was a fucking disaster, but trying to be supportive. And then some people are just like, what the fuck?
Just assholes.
Did you read what I wrote on your Facebook?
Yeah.
I wrote, I was nasty. I wrote, what the fuck are you? First of all, I see Baba Booey went off to Toronto. I said,
I love how you can always connect those two.
I wrote, how did you have time to...
Springsteen?
Yeah, I
saw Springsteen in '79. That's why I fucked the pitch.
I go, how do you... He went to Toronto Thursday night. I go, how do you have time to go to Toronto? And Ross Zapin, too.
I'm off on Friday.
Springsteen will be here. Why does he have to go to Toronto?
I'm going next week in New Jersey, 10 feet from my house.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
But you know what, Howard? If I had time, I would have gone.
I go, maybe if you didn't jet off to Toronto, you would have been awake enough to fucking throw the pitch.
Why do you need to see him in Toronto?
I don't know.
Is he better in Toronto?
What did you do? You went to the... I heard the plane was late, the whole thing.
Yeah, the plane was delayed. We barely got there.
Oh, my God.
But we got there.
Why would you put yourself through that? Fucking insane. What do you got there, Jason?
An article from Newsday.com.
Oh, Newsday.
What does Newsday say?
Let's see. Howard Stern's longtime producer, Gary Delabate, is infamously known as Baba Booey. The history of the nickname comes from a mistake Delabate made in the studio many years ago. Saturday, Baba Booey messed up again, big time. Watch it. Then they have the tape on the Newsday.com.
Oh, they direct you to that. Huh?
Yeah.
They're driving people to the website with it.
And then guys write comments underneath it, and it's like,
God.
ouch, Gary. This pitch just makes me cringe. I watched it live about 15 times. As someone who pitched for 10 years, he should have called me and not a sports psychologist, as he claims.
Howard, that's not a comment. That's the author.
Oh, that's the author.
Oh, my God. That's the writer from Newsday.
The key... Oh, I thought it was like a kid. This is great. The key is to put zip on the ball, Gary, and throw over the top. I really can't decide what it looked like. Maybe a boomerang throw. But I've never thrown a boomerang. It just looks horrible. Continuing to pile on, it's one of the most unathletic things I've ever seen from a grown man. It ranks second to Chris Rock's opening pitch, so at least you're behind Chris Rock. There's some good in this.
Apparently it's worse than Chris Rock's, right?
Artie loves this.
Let me just say this. The last time I was at a Met game was 1985, I told Gary. And the only 2 times I went back to Shea Stadium after that was to see The Who and the Rolling Stones.
Right.
This blew both away.
Did you know right away, as someone who played ball, when even the wind-up is sort of...
Well, I didn't wind up.
My suggestion to Gary was to wind up, because if you wind up, you kind of get lost in the wind-up a little bit, and it takes your head off throwing.
Right.
But a lot of people said, and then already just as many people said, don't wind up.
Really?
People just said, just throw it like you throw it in the front yard. Again, I'm telling you.
Well, clearly you should have listened to them.
I'm telling you, Jackson and I went out on the front lawn that morning because I walked it off. I threw the pitch, and it was a strike.
Walked it off.
In other words, we had the distance.
You measured it off.
Distance. Fag.
Here's the problem, Gary. You spent way too much time thinking about that.
That's right.
Well, can I say something?
But
first of all, why put yourself in that position? In other words, I don't even think I've thrown a hard ball in my life. I don't know, maybe 10 times.
You do better, though, I'm sure.
I think I would, because I've thrown balls and they...
Well, you're the type of person who the type A would kick into, where you'd obsess. You'd make sure you could do it, otherwise you wouldn't do it.
Of course. Right. In other words, why did you... Gary, you can't throw a ball. I've never seen...
I swear to God I can, and I swear to God I throw a ball every day.
When you... I don't know what you call this. When you go like this...
But I decided to do...
That's how that's like a girl throws.
I decided to do 10 things at once.
It looked like you were in the Go-Go's.
Yeah, listen, I won't deny for a second how bad it looks. And I can throw.
Is the way you threw it.
I know, but that's because I tried. Like, I went to go.
Artie, like this.
Howard, I know. I couldn't even do it. I tried to imitate it, and everything I did looked more manly.
Artie being there, was that like the greatest thing ever?
Ralph, I'm telling you, it was better than any concert I've been to. It was the atmosphere. First of all, I wanted to hate that place, and I fucking love it.
It was nice, huh?
Baseball heaven, man.
Wow. So will you go again? Will you maybe go to some Met games?
Well, if the Yankees beat them again in the World Series, I'll go, yeah.
Right.
I showed
Do you
Jackson.
like it better than the new Yankee Stadium?
Well, I haven't been there yet. I'm going to the Yankee game with my tickets for the first time Friday coming up.
All right.
And I can't wait.
You grew up all out there.
Yeah, but
I could hit. If you were sitting at home plate, I probably could hit you.
But
you want a second shot at this?
No.
Why don't you?
I thought about it. I really did. I thought about it.
Would you like me to arrange for that?
No.
That would be too funny.
That would be the best.
I understand
because it's the pressure that I can't.
But I understand. What I understand about Gary's situation is the pressure because. Look, I've thrown a baseball a million times, and I threw out the first pitch in a Newark Bears game, which isn't even close to being as devastatingly pressure-packed as this. It's a lot of pressure.
But this is his worst thing. In other words, he couldn't have thrown it worse. In other words, let's say he had missed. Let's say he didn't get a strike. Let's say, it
dribbled or something.
Or maybe he didn't even reach home plate.
Yeah.
At least this was his worst nightmare. I mean, it couldn't have been worse than that.
It was a self-fulfilling prophecy.
That ball is somewhere on the moon right now.
It's like the greatest episode of Seinfeld ever.
It's like an air ball.
Do they give you the ball after?
Oh, yeah, I have it.
Oh, did you throw it out?
No, it's at my house.
I mean, you don't want to be reminded.
The ball is defective.
Why would you keep that?
You know what, Gary?
Throw it in the garbage.
You should keep it and have have Lance Bass sign it or something.
Oh. Yeah, that's funny.
Like have all of NSYNC sign it.
No, have it analyzed.
Good bitch, Joey Fatone. Great throw, Gary. Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't you, Gary. You have that analyzed. Something's wrong with that ball.
You should have signed it that guy Lou who discovered the Backstreet Boys.
No, he's in prison. I can get it to him.
The guy who's in prison for fucking boys.
I'm gonna ask Mary.
Allegedly fucking a boy.
I'm gonna ask Mary to send me the ball, and I'm gonna send it to Lou.
Just send it to whatever ass fuck prison Lou's in, and say, Lou, next time your cellmate's fucking you, could you sign this ball? To Gary.
Poor Gary. Gary's standing here while Artie and I are laughing.
But you know what?
And you don't even know what to do with
I mean, this is,
You expected this.
Expected.
Can I just say, for people who haven't seen it, with the camera, when the camera's on it, he throws it off camera.
No, I know. If they charge money on YouTube? I've never been on it. I don't know.
No, it's free.
Oh, yeah. I was saying, if they charged, it had to make more than Star Trek this weekend.
Oh, absolutely. This will be the most downloaded clip ever in the history.
But, in a sense, it proves sort of how many people... It's amazing how many people know, and it's a testament to the show, Baba Booey.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. Like, all 40,000 people knew. Wait. When you say Baba Booey, all the fucking ushers... Oh, wait, this is the greatest thing ever. So there's a guy, Charlie, who works there.
Yeah.
Charlie is a quintessential New Yorker, like the greatest guy. When he goes, tell Howard I said, I love you, man. My son loves the show. Get to meet my son, blah, blah, blah. He goes, what's Gary going to do? You think he's going to throw the ball good? I'm like... I guess, we'll see what happens. After Gary threw the ball, Charlie's walking around. He's supposed to be working. Charlie's walking around going to everybody, what a fucking fag! I've never seen a faggy throw! He came up to me red in his face laughing, going, Artie, that was the gayest thing I've ever seen! And I once saw a guy suck a cock!
Is that what he said?
That guy's a comedian.
Charlie, if you're listening, call in. That's the gayest thing I've ever seen, and I once saw a guy suck a cock.
Hook-Nose Mike is on the air. We've spoken to him in a while. Hook-Nose, hi.
Hey, good morning, Howard. You Hook-Nose Jew bastard. Listen, Gary, you have to let Howard set it up again. You got to redeem yourself.
I think in a way you do.
You do.
Yeah, good. That's good advice, Hook-Nose.
No, but Gary really needs to go out there and throw the pitch.
Listen,
you need to get this one behind you.
Gary, do me a favor. Can we play catch one day?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to say if Gary should do it again. I'm going to be brutally honest.
Yeah.
All right.
But based on what you saw...
Film Artie having a catch with
Yeah, we'll film it. But Artie, based on what you saw,
right?
I mean, Gary gives you this thing. He was winding up, but also doing something else. 10 different throws.
Right.
The fact of the matter is, he can't throw, and he doesn't know it. And he's one of those guys, like you say, who thinks they're funny, and they're not.
Right. And you saw absolutely no indication that he can throw.
Listen, you know how... Look, like, when I went to see a shrink for the first time, he told me how fucked up I am because he's an expert. You know, he's like, look, dude, you're fucked up.
And you accepted it.
Yeah, I accept because, I mean, the guy knows what he's talking about. Major League pitchers are calling Gary and saying it was the worst thing they've ever seen. I mean,
the guy from the Daily News.
The owner of the Mets, the Daily News.
Oh, my God.
I mean, Gary really is
my father hasn't called me in 10 years.
Hello?
My father goes, my father's like, did you see that pitch? I go, yeah, Dad. He goes, well, what kind of pitch was that? He goes, well, it was unbelievable. Yeah, we got to call my dad.
Guys get angry about that because I get off the plane yesterday and the guy who meets me at the plane says, Gary sucks.
Well, Gary is a guy's guy. Like, Gary knows sports. You can talk to sports. So you think it's going to be better.
But you know what's bad? Listen to these reports. My name's all over his shitty pitch.
Right, I know. Your name's getting dragged.
You got fucked again.
Yeah, he fucked me, really. I'm the one getting fucked.
I said to Gary, you know what? You got to beg Bob Schimmel to beat up his wife.
You need to go into the witness protection program with Mary Jackson and Lucas.
Artie said that, not me.
No, almost, allegedly beat up his wife.
That's the whole story. There's a whole other thing going on.
Listen to this. This is a montage of Baba Booey's first pitch news stories that were immediately on TV.
Wow.
The game's first pitch was thrown out by Howard Stern's producer, Gary Dell'Abate. A little awful. Baba Booey, Baba blew it.
Gary Dell'Abate from Howard Stern. Baba Booey, that's just embarrassing.
Baba Booey, not sure who he is, but I'm told he's a Howard Stern personality. Well, he can't pitch. Throws the first pitch badly.
Howard Stern's sidekick, Baba Booey, threw out one of the worst ceremonial first pitches on record.
Oh, my God.
Again, he didn't come close to finding the catcher.
Baba Booey from the Howard Stern Show. That's the worst first pitch I've ever seen.
Baba Booey. Gary Dell'Abate from the Howard Stern Show, throwing out the first pitch at the Pirates-Mets game.
Oh, my God.
Didn't go real well.
Fans of Howard Stern, this is Baba Booey for you. And that guy, for all the bad karma he's built up, that's exactly what he deserves.
And today at Citi Field, Gary Dell'Abate of the Howard Stern Show shows how not to throw a ceremonial first pitch. As Bob Uecker would say, the pitch was just a bit outside. Obviously, the guy they call Baba Booey never played baseball at his former high school at Uniondale High on Long Island. In the words of Bill Walton, that was horrible.
To New York, Baba Booey from the Howard Stern Show throwing the first pitch badly. I hope they Baba booed him out of the park.
I mean, that is really your worst nightmare.
Yeah, no, that's it.
It's like the greatest episode of Seinfeld ever.
But again,
you're George.
Uniondale High School.
They've got
embarrassed. See, that explains one of my guys I went to high school wrote me on Facebook about embarrassing the high school. But now
Gary, this is a disaster.
How do I leave the house, Ralph? At the end of the day, it's hugely embarrassing. I still produce a major radio show.
He lives in Connecticut. There's no fruits up there.
Gary, all that considered, you can't throw a ball.
Okay, fine. You can't get a job.
Yeah, I have a job.
No, you don't.
And I can throw a ball better than you.
That I would like to see.
That I promise you. I'll bet you $1,000 I could throw a ball better than you.
I'll tell you what, Ralph, because you're such a big mouth.
Yeah.
Why don't you go and throw out the first pitch at Citi Field?
Sure, why not?
But, because
they're not looking for him.
No, but I'm saying, he thinks he can throw it better, but but he doesn't care about the pressure because he's half a bag anyway.
But Gary, he probably can throw it better because he's good. Anyone can outdo that pitch, probably.
Well, not anyone.
I like the chick who goes, and Gary Baba blew it.
Oh, my God.
I like when they call him Gary Dell'Abate.
I know, but they all get Baba Booey correct.
Yeah, that they get.
First of all, if you put it on a scale...
When a chick says he Baba blew it.
Yeah, Chris Rock grew up, I think, in a project in Bed-Stuy.
Right.
He probably never played Little League.
There wasn't a field anywhere near him.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Like his father probably left him at an early age.
I don't know if Rock...
his father was there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but...
Black guy and his father was there? Okay.
According to the show, everyone hates Chris. He's got a dad. I don't know. But he grew up in Bed-Stuy, I know. So there's he probably didn't spend a lot of time playing ball.
Yeah.
So you gotta give Rock that a little bit, Gary actually played. Gary's is probably worse than Chris's on that level.
I mean, all the preparation.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, Doug Goodstein from Howard TV.
We have multiple angles of this. So we just analyzed the side angle of Gary. And in mid-pitch, you'll see He licks his lips, too.
By the way, how do you have multiple angles of this? Because you were allowed to shoot this,
we're
right?
doing a real licensing deal with Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Doug sends before you roll
stolen footage.
Yeah, Doug sends me a note this morning. Tell everyone not to watch YouTube, to only watch it on Howard TV, because we have a licensed agreement with the Major League Baseball.
It's just frustrating.
I'm sitting there laughing. Yeah, okay, Doug.
Yeah, everybody's going to say, oh, Evan,
it's so frustrating. I spent hours making a deal with Major League Baseball on Friday, and then, you know.
Yeah, but you got the multiple angles and stuff. Everyone will tune into Howard TV.
Look, Howard's a powerful guy, but I don't think in this day and age you get no one to watch YouTube.
I know, but Howard says
no one watch YouTube.
I didn't say that. I said if you're going to promote Howard TV, not YouTube, where it's illegal.
Well, because no one's going to wait for Howard TV. They're going to watch it on YouTube, but you're going to have a funny multiple angle.
And then after this, there's also a shot when Gary ran out. He did something weird too. I don't even know if you remember.
Jumped over the line.
Yeah, he did like a weird hop over the line.
All right, so here's Gary from another angle. Artie, watch carefully. You're our expert. Go ahead. Here we go. Look, where did he go wrong? Ooh.
Right there.
Yeah. See, even I know, and I'm not an expert.
Oh, look at his face. Oh.
It looks like he was aiming for the stand.
There's a beaten man.
You look like a beaten man.
Are any Met players laughing in the background?
Well, that's another thing. So I got a buddy who works for Rawlings, and he knows all the players. So the whole time he's emailing me, like, good luck with the pitch, how did it go? And he sent me back a note. This is probably the most stinging one of all. I got reports from all the players. It's worse than you imagine.
Oh, my God.
So that means, like, the players are like, now it's like the inside joke of the clubhouse.
Yeah. I know how much this matters to Gary.
And it would matter to me, too, Gary. Yeah. I mean, that's where I can relate to it.
That's why you fucked up.
Well, listen, I don't know, Howard. Maybe I would. But the one thing, like, what I would say in my head was, just don't look like a chick.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, just I would throw it as hard as I could, and if it went wild, I would go, look, a lot of Major League pitchers throw wild, too.
Absolutely.
But just don't look like a broad. I don't know. You know, it's a lot of pressure.
Artie, be honest. You wouldn't have thrown a ball like that.
No, of course he wouldn't.
It's physically impossible.
Here's that little hop.
You couldn't look like that.
I don't think so.
Here's the Gary hop.
Well, that's superstition. That's
a lot of players do that.
Managers do that,
He should have stepped all over that line.
Yeah, well, I don't know why you cared about superstition.
And, you know, I just want to point out one thing. Not that it matters much, but I didn't hire a sports psychiatrist. The guy... Fred, the guy emailed Fred and
whatever.
Then I called, but I didn't hire him. I didn't pay him.
You met with him, though?
No. He gave me his phone number, and I talked to him on the way home one day.
Yeah.
He
was a big help.
How are you a Little League coach? Do you teach the kids how to throw?
Oh, my God. How can he go back?
Well,
yeah,
only chicks play.
Well, no, by the time I get them, they know how to throw, so I'm not teaching them how to throw. I'm teaching them where to throw. Listen, I pitch batting practice. I'm telling you, I can do better than that.
Right.
Batting practice.
You know what's the greatest
batting practice for who?
For the guys in the dugout?
What is that, Ralph?
Gary has like a jersey, like a baseball jersey on too.
Yeah,
no, it's a T-shirt, Ralph.
They gave him a Met shirt that said Baba Boo. Why number 9, by the way?
You know, I don't know. The guy handed it to me. I have no idea what the number meant.
That really was Bruce Beauclair's number. One quick Sebastian Bach story, because it was the funniest thing ever.
He's out of control.
He's out of control, but
he's tie his dick in a knot.
Okay.
No, but sort of.
Listen to this. Listen to this. Everybody who's half a celebrity at one point who's down on the field, they asked to take a picture with all the autistic kids. There were like 10-year-old autistic kids there.
Probably like 10 autistic kids.
10-year-old autistic kids, okay?
Right.
They're right in front of us. They hear everything you say. And even I'm an obnoxious prick. I'm watching what I say. Sebastian Bach comes over to get in the picture. He wraps his arms around like me and Joe, like we're at a fucking Coke party or something. And he goes, dude, what's up? I got the best fucking weed in New York, man. Let's go fucking get stoned after this shit. This shit is like turpentine that I got. And he goes, Gary, thanks for talking about my cock. Gary always talks about my fucking cock on the show, man. And the autistic kids are like jumping up and down.
He said cock a good half a dozen times.
They're totally oblivious that their kids are around.
Yeah, like even my son.
Hey, man, what's the big deal? They got cocks, too.
Yeah, who cares? And then he says,
who cares? They don't know what's going on.
He goes, dude, I read your book, and you know how your father took you to the front row at a Yankee game? My father did the same thing to me at a Kiss concert. But he said cock, what?
6 times. 6, 7 times.
And the kids are looking at him because he's screaming.
Right. And he's used to getting a lot of attention.
But I thought he sounded pretty good when he sang. I liked it. But it was funny to see that guy.
Did you explain to him that you're there with your police officer who's making sure you don't do any weed?
No, but Joe heard the whole thing. And he said, I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah.
He said, because he kept going.
Would that have been a temptation?
To smoke weed with Sebastian Bach?
Yeah.
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 Just because it's Sebastian Bach.
Right.
I remember, at an AA meeting once, I got up and I said, when I was like 27 years old, the first time I ever went, I said, well, I'm never drinking again. And then I said, unless I ever meet Frank Sinatra, he wants me to have a scotch. I mean,
that's funny.
Guys, you wouldn't drink a scotch with Frank Sinatra?
You said that at an AA meeting?
Yeah, I got thrown out.
So, Gary, someone told me that your attitude with this pitch is that you're going to embrace it fully and just start living like a woman. You're going to start...
Really? Who told you that?
That's what someone told me. Like, you're going to get you the
operation. Changing his name.
Yeah.
That's who you should get to sign the ball, Siobhan.
Dominic, you're on the air.
Well, two things. First thing, I had to go to criminal court Sunday morning. A businessman got into a fight with his girlfriend, beat her up. I go all the way in the back where everyone's locked up and all these people are in there. And I go up to my client, and here he is, never in trouble in his life. He says, first thing he says to me is, did you see that pitch?
Is that true?
Is there any chance that that's true,
There's
Howard?
no way that's true.
Dominic is so...
Guys in jail?
Yeah, that's the first thing on his mind, Dominic. I mean, really. A guy's in fucking jail getting ready to be ass raped, and that's his first thing.
Can I tell you, walking in the streets, people are yelling it out?
To you?
Just yelling it out, of course. It's incredible.
No.
The pitch heard round the world.
All right. Thank you, Dominic.
Should be yelling once you get married for a fifth time.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure which is more embarrassing.
You're dating your ex-wife?
Speaking of Dominic, Gary would have done better if he just ran up to the umpire and hit him with a plate of pasta.
Here's Artie's friend, Charlie. Do you know Charlie?
Oh, Charlie, yeah.
Charlie, yeah.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Oh, my God. It was the most retarded thing I've ever seen. I volunteered at a fucking mental institution for fucking 4 years after school. I'm not fucking kidding. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. How do you know Artie?
Well, I worked at a city field.
No, I met him for the first time on the field.
This isn't that guy.
This
isn't him. This is a younger guy. Charlie's an older guy.
Charlie, yeah, where exactly did we meet?
Right by, with the first time that I saw you city field.
Yeah, no, this ain't him.
Yeah, he's pretending to be Charlie.
Good ear, Gary.
I actually know Charlie pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
Wolfie, go ahead.
Friend.
Hey, Howard. I'm not one to usually be negative, but I've seen better arms on a snake. It reminded me of a little kid. They just wind up and throw, and they're 2 feet away from you, and the ball just completely jumps to the side. And I was actually rooting for the guy because his kids were there.
You know what did Gary in? I'll tell you what did Gary in, Wolfie. The pitch itself was not televised originally. You went out and did the first pitch. They don't televise that.
Well, they wouldn't have televised this one either.
Right. What happened
the pitch in general is not televised.
You were interviewed during the game, and that's what did you in. They did the replay.
That's what I'm saying.
That was in the body.
That's when it was taken out of the Howard Stern universe and brought to the whole world. That's what did
Want to hear that clip?
The body of the game.
As long as we're playing clips, I ought to play you that.
Hey, can I just point out, I'll help you with this one, as long as we're going the full route.
Yeah, where is it, by the way?
It's right below Gary, page 2. It says Kevin Burkhardt.
Set up for this. Gary fucks up the pitch in red.
Yeah.
It's Gary, GFP page, Gary fuck up pitch.
Did you find Howard?
Yeah, Gary interviewed.
Okay, but the important thing is, so Kevin Burkhardt is the field reporter. So
GGP, Gary gay pitch in red. wait, Gary gay pitch in pink.
So Kevin Burkhardt is
the jokes are endless.
Page 3.
This just writes itself.
Hey, Artie, can I ask you a question?
Wait, let me throw up.
Can I ask you a question?
It is a sitcom episode.
You know what? You ever seen Gary? When I went on YouTube, and like my father said, I said to my father still doesn't understand technology. I go, I'm going to go right on the computer and watch it. He goes, you can go on the computer.
You have it there?
You have it there? He couldn't even comprehend it. Like he doesn't even live in the universe.
Neither do I.
But as soon as I turn on, I go, that's Artie standing right next to the catcher. And I go, why the fuck, no matter what, would Gary have Artie? That had to, like...
that had to throw you off, too.
I didn't invite him. He just said he wanted to come, and I said, okay.
I said I might go. I got up. I mean, nowadays, I'm not on heroin. I'm up in the morning. I'm like, let's go outside. Yeah. I said to Joe, let's go to fucking City Field. I'm dying to see what it looks like. And Gary... it's a good cause and everything, and we all tried to help out the charity, and you get to see Gary throw like a fucking fag.
Hey, does
here it
Joe
is again.
have to okay it?
There's Artie. See, there's Artie.
Yeah. Right.
By the way, look at about half the size of what he was.
Yeah.
How much weight have you lost?
40 pounds, Howard.
Wow.
You know, I couldn't recognize you on the screen. You're so small.
The guy in the yellow, by the way, Howard, that's Charlie.
That's Charlie in the yellow.
Right
there.
This guy right here?
Yeah, he's been an usher. He was an usher at Shea. He's been there forever.
Oh, boy, he's down on the field, too.
No, he's always on the field.
I pointed to Lucas and Jackson because the old Shea Stadium's not there anymore. It's actually kind of sad.
Yeah.
I said, you see this parking lot? And they're like, yeah. I said, that's where the Yankees beat the Mets in 2000.
Hey, I have a question.
What?
Can't you get whacked with a ball? Look at how close the people are to the...
Well, no, Gary,
not during the game. They're not there during the game.
Oh, what is this?
This is Gary's pitch.
This is my pitch.
Yeah, I know, but during the game, they're not sitting there?
No. What do you say? Oh, the people
They're
that's the net.
sitting there.
There's a net there.
There's a big net.
A big net.
There's a big net. And the people that are like where Artie is, those people aren't on the field during the game.
All right. No, I don't mean the people on the field. I meant I didn't see the net.
The big net there, yeah.
Wow, that's good. So, Gary, are you guys... Oh, here they're rolling it from a different angle.
Watch
the same angle.
If you'll notice me, I turn around and stuff like that.
Yeah, now watch Artie. Artie's going to come... Artie's like... Artie's cracking up already. And look, there's that guy Charlie talking to you.
Yeah. Charlie ran over to me, and he just got... I mean, like within 2 seconds, I turned around.
Look at what's going on. Forget Gary's pitch. Watch behind him.
I gotta watch Artie.
Artie moves to the side. The pitch goes off. Now Charlie runs toward Artie. Artie is doubled over with laughter.
Charlie ran over. That's what he said, the second cock line.
What was the line again?
He said, Artie, that's the gayest thing I've ever seen, and I once saw a guy suck a cock.
Oh, man.
There's not a bad angle of that.
Oh, my God. Mike, go ahead.
There ain't a good angle of it either.
Yeah, Mike.
Howard?
Yes.
Yeah, how about we put this on a loop, man, for Howard TV so we can see it over and over and over again.
Yeah.
But not only that, I want to get can you get, like, close-ups of the frightening looks of the players, of the people in the stands?
Yeah, I wonder if, like, the Sabruta film, if they can just take it, like do a close-up on Artie, close-up on Charlie.
Well, and even watch the trajectory of the ball here. And now here's where it goes off.
And then, like, see people in the stands, like in other words, those people behind the net there. Like if they could just, like, somehow graphically improve the film.
It would be great if a guy like the Zapruder film...
the expressions on their faces.
It would be great if a guy like the Kennedy assassination, where people like, there's another ball coming from a grassy knoll.
That's what you should have done. You should have had, like, somebody throw it from somewhere else.
Right, and forget
You should have had someone else throw it.
You were going to play that tape. I was just trying to keep you on track.
Yeah, that's all right. Don't worry.
We got time.
Much like Baba Booey, Gary thought that would go away in a week. This is never going away. There's another one that's going to be with him forever.
Do you know the fans, Howard, are so funny? Like the Jake and Chubba guys. They said to me, "Listen, we're big Howard fans. You got to bust Gary's balls so I look like a fag." And then he said, "Could you say Happy Mother's Day to Jake and Chubba's mom on the air?"
In the middle of everything.
I said, "Yeah, that's what I'll do."
Frank, you're on the air in Longview. Longview, what is it, Washington?
Yes.
Okay.
Great pitch, Gary.
Do I detect sarcasm?
Oh, just a little bit. It was beautiful. No, actually, I loved it.
All right, Frank, there you go. So here's a guy who liked it.
Do it again.
Thank you, Frank.
Gary, please. Oh, give him another chance. And I want to see Artie pitch.
Listen, man, I'd love to throw out the first pitch of the Yankee game, but the Yankees are notoriously snooty. They're a snobby organization.
Yeah.
I mean they actually don't let just anybody onto the field.
I think you know what, and this pisses me off about the fucking Yankees. You know, because Babe Ruth, fucked whores and drank and everything. I think they'd have an issue with this show, maybe, but I'm going to try. I would love to. I mean, listen, I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'll try.
If they have an issue with the show, I mean, George Steinbrenner used to do the show all the time.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
That's right. You guys used to interview him.
In fact, when the guy from Anthrax stole the on-deck circle down at Tampa, he was going to go to jail, and he called Howard and said, "I know you're friends with Steinbrenner. Please help me."
Wow.
And we got Steinbrenner on the phone, and Howard said, "Hey, he's a good guy. He didn't mean it." And Steinbrenner dropped the charges.
I forgot about that.
So listen, we're that friendly with him.
I'll try to do it, and it would be pressure on me. It would. If anyone can make that happen out there in Yankee land,
I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Brett, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, Gary. I just want to know which is more embarrassing to look at, your pitch
or your boo-hoo, I miss you video.
Oh, the love video. Which is worse to you in terms of, like, the show and taking abuse?
So it's hard to tell. This one's too new.
Right.
Like, I need a couple of weeks to go by, but I guess they're probably pretty equal.
By a mile.
Ralph, I was just talking.
This is really embarrassing, Gary.
The only thing that sucks about this for Gary is he can't sell you the video.
That's right.
It happened already.
Yeah.
The freebie.
Yeah, that love video was pretty bad, but...
no, this is way worse.
Gary says the pitch is worse. I would think the love video would be worse.
I said I haven't decided yet.
How did you do... You did interviews after that? Like, how did you just not run out of there?
Because I had an obligation to the Autism Society, et cetera, et cetera.
All right, so here is the interview Gary did.
So can I point something out? So this guy, Kevin Burkhardt, he's like a field reporter, really nice guy. So he's interviewing me, and I know this has been set up in advance, because Howard was asking me the other day, why on earth would you do an interview? But this was set up in advance that it would promote the Autism Society. The important thing to hear on this, because it is funny, is I think it's Keith Hernandez and Howie Rose are in the booth. And when I start talking about it, you can hear them laughing.
Keith Hernandez, who I loved calling a coked up fag when I was in the... Keith Hernandez had a coke issue.
Yeah, no, that's documented.
That's documented.
The other part is not documented.
But I added fag. We know that.
You just call everyone a fag.
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
They don't have to be gay.
It doesn't mean anything.
I'm going to be calling Gary a fag for the next 50
Meanwhile,
years.
how embarrassing, because you know all those greats. I mean, Keith Hernandez is legendary.
Yeah. One of the best first basemen who's ever lived.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys, and like Howie Rose is watching the game.
That's why there's pressure. I mean, right before, I was so, again, I wanted to hate the place, but I became a little kid again.
Yeah.
When I got down on the field before Gary threw the pitch, David Wright, my honorary gayest Met besides Gary, and Carlos Delgado were playing what the players call long toss. They were probably a football field away from each other, and they casually just tossed the ball. And it's like a line drive right to the other guy's mitt. And you're looking at these amazing athletes, and every fucking 10-year-old kid is in awe. They're looking at two all-stars. And I'm thinking, like these are men and we're boys almost, and Gary's got to go throw out a pitch in front of these guys. It could not have gone any worse. I mean, it would be like getting the shit kicked out of you in front of Mike Tyson. You know?
Did the autism kids laugh at you, Gary?
Yeah, they all did.
They all laughed.
This is the first hour of the show. I said, I got an easy job on Monday. I woke up kind of happy.
You kidding me? I had a stand-up gig that night, Howard. It was the first half hour of my act. It was perfect.
Ron Darling was calling the game, right? Wasn't he?
Well, he might have been at some point.
Gary Cohn?
It was Ron Darling, Gary Cohn. Is it Howie Rose? I can't remember if he's still with the...
I don't know if I don't listen to Met games. I don't know.
Okay. And you know what? When you meet these guys, and you've met some of these guys before, you're just a fan. They're happy to meet you. Now you're going to be that gay guy who threw out that horrible pitch.
Listen, Gary's pitch was so gay.
And Gary likes to be, cool in front of the Mets and all that.
Everyone does, not the Mets.
You shouldn't have done this. I told you not to do it.
I got to tell you, the worst part is
I told you not to do it. I did. I said, get out of it.
Then
don't do it.
And when I said last Monday I was going to have Jackson do it, you go, don't do that.
No, I said you should have done that from the beginning.
I said don't do it. I
told you not to be stupid, you moron.
But Gary's pitch was so gay, if he was Scott DePace's son, Scott wouldn't let him in the house anymore.
Right. Okay, so here's Gary interviewed, and this is when he knew it went horribly wrong, because I think Gary was shocked that during the interview about autism, then the guy goes, let's take a look at that pitch.
Shocked. I got to tell you,
speaking of autism.
Because then you know. Because then you know.
It'll never go away.
It's never going away.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people said, you turned out the first pitch, I'll tune into the game. And I go, no, it's not televised.
Speaking of gay autistic children.
Here we go. Yeah, that's it.
If anybody doesn't understand what autism is.
That's the greatest comment since... go ahead, call me Baba Booey. I'll last a day. When you said, don't even bother tuning in. It's not televised.
It shouldn't have been televised.
Yeah. Well, here it is.
Let's check in with Kevin Burkhardt. Guys, Howard Stern fans know exactly who this guy is. It's Gary Dell'Abate, the producer for 25 years.
It's Robin Quivers.
Stern Show, also Baba Booey. We all know you by that as well. You are also the host here of Autism Awareness Day at Citi Field. How did that come about?
Jim Watkins' wife gave me a call. Jim Watkins from CW11 News at night. And she said, we could sell a lot of tickets if you would come up to the suite, be the host, and throw out the first pitch. So we started talking about the first pitch on the air, and Artie, who works on our show, is a big Yankee fan, was giving me a lot of grief about it. And we talked about how nervous I was throwing it out. And that generated a lot of people buying tickets to come and see me. And in case you're wondering, I blew it.
How did that go? I know there was a lot of stuff going on the other, so much so that you had a certain call from a certain psychologist.
One of our listeners was a sports psychologist, so he called me, and I was on my way home one day, so I talked to him for 40 minutes in the car. Obviously, it didn't help.
Yeah, all that counseling, it didn't really work. It's a great. What do you like best about the cause?
I love that they not only raise money because they need money for education, because it's really a lifelong thing that needs to be dealt with, but they're trying to raise awareness. And I tell anybody, if you just sort of Google autism, if you don't know enough about it, just Google it and find out more about it, because I'm sure somebody, you must know somebody who's affected with it, and that's a big thing.
We don't have a monitor in front of us. We're going to show the pitch, Gary. Actually, we do have a monitor up here. See if we can show the pitch. We're in a little bit delay after this pitch from Maine that's fouled back. So we'll see if we can take a look at the beauty of this first pitch. And here we go. What are you thinking right now? Wow.
I was really hoping that would not end up on television. So embarrassed.
Wow.
I mean, they tell you not to bounce it, but they also, I don't know that anybody ever told you not to throw it into the stands either.
Oh, my God. The distance. The bad news was to hit the umpire.
Gary, thanks for being involved in the great cause, and thanks for not pitching in the Mets bullpen.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Good to see you.
Back to you.
And when you wake up Monday morning, you will be hearing never letting Gary hear the end of that pitch. I mean, he's going to hear about that for the next 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm at the point.
I'm going to pull a Rick Peterson on you, Gary. Forget about the sports psychologist. Come to me. I'll be fixed in 10 minutes.
I'll have you fixed in 10 minutes.
Line to left, right at Tatis.
Who said that?
The lunging grab.
I think it was Hernandez.
Keith Hernandez?
Tatis with it.
I think Ralph Kiner, if they leave it.
Kiner says something?
Kiner starts talking about...
for John Maine as we take another look at Baba Booey's.
Oh, they played again.
Watch out, Tony Ragdon. It's coming your way.
That was Ron Darling, not Keith Hernandez.
Now, the good news is...
Ron Darling, a great pitcher.
And a nice guy, too. Yeah. The good news, if there's any little bit of good news, even though they reshowed it again, on my TV, it got cut off early.
I wish Bob Murphy was still the announcer for the Mets, so someone could have said to Bob, Gary really throws like a fag, and Bob would have went, doesn't he, though?
Ralph Kiner started talking, and then he starts, I don't know if you know, but Ralph Kiner
Kiner's corner.
But he had a stroke?
Yeah, I
know.
So
he talks, really bad, so he starts, I guess he's just looking for any angle, so he starts talking about how when we played with the Pirates, we had a sports psychologist, too. They brought him in, and he went over on a whole rap about that.
That's a bad guy to fuck up in front of, because not only Ralph Kiner was one of the best home run hitters ever, I think he also fucked Rita Hayworth.
Yeah, he used to date a lot of stars.
I think, what's really weird,
too? He needs the sports psychologist now.
I'm like thinking, who picks sports psychologists as a profession? They've got to be hurting in this economy. I mean, how many people are going to hire a sports psychologist?
You can cut that guy out.
You know what, Howard? I bet every fucking team has a guy that makes more money than he should have on the fucking payroll.
Hey, Howard, you have to re-sign. This can't go away in a year.
I was going to say that it could be gone in a year and a half.
It's not going anywhere.
You have to stay on just because of that pitch.
It's here like AIDS.
Since the pitch, have you had sex with Mary yet? I bet you haven't even had sex.
No, but that's not any...
Don't you feel like less...
anything, if it was a strike, I don't think we would have had sex.
You can't possibly get it up for a woman after that.
Wow.
Right?
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's right, Ralph. I can't. Ralph is so astute.
Well, let's go to Mr. Warmth. Hi.
I want to thank Gary as a member of the Stern Fan Network for giving us a wonderful weekend. Thank you, Gary.
Did you have a big weekend of comedy, Mr. Warmth?
Oh, yeah. The comedy gods were smiling down.
All right. This guy claims to be Gary's father calling from the grave.
No.
Hi.
Thank God I'm dead.
Sal always going too far.
Yeah. I dumped that out.
I like the guy who interviews him. He's like, yeah, autism. Okay, yeah. Let's look at your shitty pitch.
No, those guys, because those guys are talking heads. They just want to fuck with you.
I have a feeling like most of the people in the stands probably thought Gary was an autistic kid, and he would have gotten away with it. Like they were like, hey, that's a pretty good pitch for an autistic kid.
Let's hear it for Skippy.
Yeah. But then I think once they went on TV and outed him as Gary from the Howard Stern Show.
He's not autistic?
Let's hear it for Belinda Carlisle.
That'd be funny if he'd gone out dressed up in a dress the next time, like if they let him go out again.
Throwing out the first pitch and talking about it later on her Twitter, Paris Hilton.
So, Artie, I got a question for you.
You were doubled over with laughter on the field.
Howard, I mean...
You turned away.
Listen,
you were so embarrassed
It was
for him.
such a great New York moment. New Yorkers are so brutally honest. And like everyone's sitting there. And I was rooting for Gary so fucking much because I love Gary. And I really wanted to see him do good, but there was nothing else to do but just crack up, and everyone just descended on us, me and that Charlie guy. Like, and the word fag was flowing. It was like the 70s.
But you doubled over with laughter where you had to hold on to, I saw a railing.
Yeah. I held on to the back thing.
You almost fell over.
Yeah. I'd been to the gym. I was weak.
Well, Gary, I don't know.
I don't even know if you saw it the first time hit the umpire. You were so funny. Oh, my God.
It really was one of the... Listen, I was at the game where Reggie Jackson hit the 3 homers.
There he goes. Oh, there's Gary doubled over. I mean, there's Artie doubled over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Charlie talking to me. And all those guys, by the way, all those guys in the yellow shirts, they're all security guys, ex-cops who work security there. They all had the same opinion of the pitch, pretty much. Charlie had.
So how do you go on living with this? I mean, what's your plan? I mean,
time goes by, you know.
This too shall pass.
Was your weekend the worst weekend ever?
See, the funny thing was, my weekend was the worst weekend for me. I mean, I had to go out yesterday. My kids both had flag football games, and only one person said anything to me. Most people hadn't seen it, or if they did, they didn't say anything to me.
They were too embarrassed.
So I said, like, when we got up, Mary goes, again, is this going to be the whole day? I said, Mary, we're going to a field of thousands of fathers. I go, that's all they're going to talk about.
Right.
And so the best part was, we're standing there, and she goes, see, nobody's talking about it. And then one of the dads I know who actually runs the Major League Baseball Network comes over and he goes, like, not even like, hey, he goes, what was that? He's like, what was that?
Oh, did Mary hear that?
And I go, see? And she goes, one guy. And it was one guy yesterday.
Right.
Then my in-laws came over, and my father-in-law, like, sort of heard about it. He's like, can we see it? And I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah.
And, it's a lot of that.
Right.
And then, I'll tell you what, Saturday night, I went to bed, and I woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning sweating, and just replaying the pitch in my head all over again and thinking about this morning, even though this is, about what I expected, but, you still think about it.
So you woke up and the first thing you thought about was the pitch. And like how...
it was like literally in my head, you just replayed over, like, why did I throw it like that? Why didn't I just do what I was going to do?
Like Scott Norwood.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
What were you going to do?
Well, again, I practiced like a wind-up in a real pitch, throwing really hard, and then I just wasn't confident in that. And then I just thought I'd throw it as a throw, and I can't explain it.
How do you know what it's like?
Well, let me alone. Let me be, will you? Why me? Why me? Why did it have to be me?
I met him, too.
You know what it's like? Do you know who Scott Norwood is? Scott Norwood was the guy in the Super Bowl in 1991 who missed the field goal against the Giants. He had to kick a 47-yarder,
Right.
and it went wide right by a foot, and they lost the Super Bowl. So it ruined Scott Norwood's life for a little while. He was run out of Buffalo, and there was a movie called Buffalo 66 made about it.
Right.
Vincent Gallo made this amazing movie about it. And, like, there was a fucking auto parts store in New Jersey called Norwood Auto Parts. And everybody said if you get a part from there, your car will veer to the right. Like, I think the fucking place went out of business. Like, it never ended. And the movie Buffalo 66 is all about Vincent Gallo goes to jail because he lost a bet on Scott Norwood. He gets out of jail and wants to kill him. So at the end of the movie, he shoots him in a strip. I'm like, this is a mini version of that. I think it's never going to go away. Like, you're so popular, the show's so popular, Baba Booey's a popular thing. 40,000 people. It's there were 3,000 people at my gig that night.
Right.
Before I said a word, they were yelling, "Gary's a fag." Everybody knows about it.
Do you wish you hadn't done it now in retrospect?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. My instincts were right last week to not want to do it.
Yes, but
why do you? All right, I'm getting psychological now. Do you think on any level you wanted to fail? I mean, this was a moment totally in your control.
Oh, sure.
It was, is there something in you that couldn't accept success that you had to fail?
I think you're at a...
I'm just asking.
No, I think you're into the whole strength thing, but I think you're reading too much into it. I really wanted to do it. I really wanted it to go well.
Right.
But all you kept saying, Gary, was that it's going to be messed up. Every time you thought about it, you threw a messed up pitch.
And that's what would happen.
The only... Gary made a face right after the pitch, and this is why, because I like Gary so much, I could... the only time I've seen that face before is when he's trying to make a point, and out of nowhere, Fred plays... Bah, 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 bah. It's just such a look of defeat. You know?
Well, they've got that close-up angle on his face.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Can you roll that side close-up? I know this is turning into the Zapruder film. Let me see his face. I'm going to study it. All right. Here we go. He's intense. He's throwing. You see, he didn't pick up his hand high enough over his head or something.
And it releases too early.
And now he knows the pitch has gone bad right here. Ooh.
And then he, like, bends over and, like, throws up.
I know.
Yeah, what is this bending over thing?
No, I just was like,
thank God David Wright.
Oh, he mooned me. He mooned everyone.
It looked like David Wright missed it. It looked like he was running with his back towards you, so at least that happened.
You kind of ran out on the field, too, kind of spazzy.
By the way, you also look very heavy.
I know.
You know, you got to.
I had the black. Well, again, I've lost 10 pounds. I got to lose 20 more. So I'm working on it.
Good.
I mean, it's one thing at a time.
Me and Guy were talking after the game, and but the luxury suites there are so great.
Look at that shot. Look at the shot of Gary on the screen. You see how he puts his tongue out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm like Jordan.
Yeah, Michael Jordan used to do that all the time. Whenever he shot.
You throw like Michael Jordan.
No, he just looks his tongue out like Michael.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
He plays baseball like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Were the garage guys heckling you this morning? Because that's what I heard.
No. The guy in the garage is. Yeah. I got to tell you.
Nice pitch, maricon.
You should. I actually think no. John,
you throw like a woman.
John, who runs the garage.
Why don't you fuck your car in the ass? I fuck your car in the ass. Your car is a gay fag. You're a fag.
What?
John, who runs the garage.
Fuck your gay car.
I'm parking your gay car.
In your gay parking spot.
Hey, I'm parking a car for Fagabooey.
What did the guy do?
No. John, who runs the garage, who doesn't have a Spanish accent. John is like, I've always thought John should be on the show.
No.
He's one of those guys. He's just like a New York guy who just doesn't give a fuck. He's like every guy. And, I mean, he didn't say anything. I mean, he just made a joke about it. But he would, he would never let anybody off the hook for anything.
Of course
So, like,
not.
that was the first thing. Driving in, I go, I wonder what John has to say. Right. And then he actually didn't say much. He just, like, I think he said something like, missed the plate, huh?
Yeah.
I said to Gary, dude, your only chance is I'll teach you how to call in sick. Or beg Benji to be late.
Right, here's the final question, because I know we got to take a break. We've got an hour and 17 minutes just on the pitch.
Oh, God, is that all?
I got to tell you, that I looked at the schedule, the saving graces. We have a 7:30 and 8:30 guest, so it would be 3 hours and 17 minutes.
Cancel them.
You know what?
Dennis Rodman will be here, and Lisa Lampanelli.
I wondered. I wondered how you were going to set this up today. It's so perfect that your father called you. That was a perfect way for this to start.
Oh, it was unbelievable. But here's the question. Will this go away eventually, or is this one of those things that's just always going to be very, very prevalent on the show?
Always going to be very prevalent on the show.
All right.
Howard, do you realize that for everyone from now on who's going to throw out the first pitch, people's advice is going to be, look, whatever you do, don't delabate that pitch.
So I think that's what I told...
Delabate will become a word.
But that's what I told Mary.
It'll be a verb.
When Mary and I were arguing about this, and she's like, oh, get over it. I go, you don't understand. I have now become like a benchmark.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she's like, whatever. You guys are such guys.
Hammer, go ahead. You have the last word, and then I got to take a break.
No.
Hello,
Howard.
Yeah.
You ever see that show Time Warp where they do slow motion? We got to get a slow motion of Baba Booey's face on Time Warp. You got to get a hold of these guys.
Well, Howard TV, quite frankly, is putting together a whole special with it because they have every angle of Gary's pitch, right. And they have angles you won't see on YouTube. As you can see this morning, they're very, very high-quality angles.
Yeah, I mean, you know how you want to know how I first saw the pitch?
Yeah.
How I first saw it? So I had this obligation to go around to a bunch of things. So they have a Modell suite, which is in right field. There's like a chain-link fence.
Right.
And you literally can look at the field. It's really cool. There was a guy there from Las Vegas who just got into town and heard me talking about it. Said, oh, buy a ticket and go. And he had like a digital camera, but it shoots video. And he was able to get a good shot of it. And when I saw it that time, I was like, oh, my God, it was so much worse than I even remembered it.
All right, Jeff the Drunk, up there's Gary. There's another angle of Gary.
Wow.
There he is.
Got the ball.
Winding up. Hold on, Jeff. We'll get to you in a second.
Who directed this? Milos Forman?
Yeah, Gary throws, goes nowhere, and ooh.
You know what? From that angle, you look like you can throw from that angle. It's worse from straight on.
Yeah,
but
well,
you know
there's multiple angles.
You know why Gary did a nice thing, though? Because the parents of autistic children, I never saw an autistic child before.
Yeah.
If anyone has a chance to give money, give it. Because it's a serious issue. And these poor parents look so tired. You know what I mean? Like, they're always taking care of the kid.
Yeah.
But after Gary's pitch, all the autistic parents were smiling.
See, it was a good thing.
Yeah, like
you mean with the first joy they'd had in a long time?
I could see them, like, chasing after their kid like they do all the time.
But you know what it reminds
making
me
sure
of?
the kids are right, and they were like, that was great.
When Babe Ruth went to the hospital for that dying kid, and he said, I'm going to hit it over, you know. And Gary was doing this for the autistic kids, and I think he let them down,
I do a joke in my act where I say, A-Rod wears number 13 because he wants to be like Babe Ruth, who was number 3.
Right.
And I said, before the playoffs last year, A-Rod went to a hospital and promised a dying kid that he'd ground out to second for him.
He came through.
And then he pointed to second base before he did.
You know, when Babe Ruth pointed, that's where Gary threw.
Jeff the Drunk.
Gary should have pointed to the dugout.
Jeff the Drunk, you have the last word.
Hey, Gary.
Oh, boy.
Yes, Jeff.
I just want to say I'm very, very sorry to hear. But I didn't expect nothing less of you.
You throw like I fuck. You throw like my ass looks.
Is that right, Jeff?
Yeah. I was watching it from my house that happens to be a Volkswagen bus. And I was embarrassed for Gary while I was waiting for my shipment of government cheese and weed.
You could throw better with your bad arm, can't you?
I could throw better with no arm. I could have thrown better with my ass.
All right. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Ralph. Thank everybody for trying.
I want to thank Gary. That was fantastic.
The best is Ralph's laugh in the background. That's good to me.
Well, I keep thinking all Gary cared about was if it reached the plate.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, but nowhere near.
On eight hops.
Reached the plate in the stand.
Do you think less of Gary now?
I don't
As a
have
man?
any, you know, like now when he talks about sports, I'll just think, you know, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, anytime he says something about sports, you just go, go pitch again.
See, that's the problem with this, is you lose. Like, Chris Rock was one of my favorite comedians. I don't like him as much anymore.
Really? Because you saw the pitch?
Yeah.
Oh, stop.
But Gary likes...
I don't know. I don't think he's as funny.
But he's manly.
Yeah, I never saw Richard Pryor throw, so I still like him, I guess. But with Gary, you know, and I know Gary knows a lot about sports, but, you know, Robin's right. From now on, I don't want to hear him talk about Brett Favre and the Jets. I don't give a shit.
By the way,
it's going to move over to football and hockey now?
It's all sports now. You're not allowed to talk about tiddly fucking wings.
By the way,
talk about bowling.
This 40-pound weight loss happened rapidly. I mean, this is pretty impressive.
I told you, Howard, I got off that Subutex shit.
That's what was making you so fat.
I had never gotten close to 300 pounds in my life. So
yeah.
If you Google Subutex, it has every single possible side effect. You'll get diarrhea. You'll be constipated. You'll die. You'll get a bleeding stomach.
So you don't feel as hungry anymore.
But you're eating better, too, right?
Oh, God, Ralph. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so happy nowadays, like when I get up. And I started jogging, and the weight just fell off me, you know.
Right.
But and I still got a lot of way to go. But I almost called Ralph yesterday to go see Star Trek. I wanted to be with Ralph and see Star Trek. I was out.
I can't wait to see it again.
Ralph, I'll go with you. I'm dying to see it. I couldn't get my mother or sister to go.
We should see it in IMAX, man.
Yeah, it's on
I
IMAX.
saw that. It's on IMAX.
It's really great.
Would you see it again,
It
Howard?
made $72 million. Yeah, I'd go again.
Yeah,
It's $72 million.
Did it beat...
Wolverine had $87 million.
Wow, that's a juggernaut. I thought Star Trek was going to break records based on...
No, as a matter of fact, what they're saying is it's one of the few movies that after its first day, it went up the second day. They seem to think that it's going to build because of the word of mouth.
Yeah, like next week it'll do almost as good.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Ralph. Thank you, everyone. We have to take a break. Gary, thank you.
Gary, listen, man. This is why Gary's a great producer. He said to me, I said, Gary, they're asking me to go on the field. I won't go if you don't want me to. And Gary said, no, it's good for the show.
All right.
Just come down.
Your reaction is priceless.
And I love you, man, but, you know, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
You got to do what you got to do.
My own fault.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back right after these words.